Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our group will present about operation of poultry slaughterhouses in Malaysia. So before that, let us introduce ourselves. So my name is NAZUA LYANA binti ZARPAWI from IC120582 and my other group members are.
My name is NOOR HAFIDA binti ABDUL from IC120582.
My name is FARHANA binti ZULKIFLI from IC120582.
My name is FARAH binti Muhammad BADRUDDin and I'm from IC120582.
My name is SYUKRI bin SAARI and I'm from class IC120582.
Okay, next we go to the literature review. Okay, halal chicken slaughter is important for all Muslims around the world. Therefore, the party that manage the chicken slaughterhouse must ensure that each slaughter process is in accordance with Islamic law that has been set out in the Quran and Hadith. As we know, Malaysia is a country with a very large Muslim population. Therefore, the food or processing place must be in a clean condition, including the slaughterhouse, so that Muslim consumers do not feel hesitant to eat it. Among the issue we got was the issue of a chicken slaughterhouse that was not Sharia compliant during the slaughter of chickens. The incident happened in 2014 in Toronto. An inspection conducted by the audit and the officer of the Perak Islamic Religious Department on 15 May 2014 found that the operator did not provide containers to separate damaged or non-halal slaughter. In addition, the condition of the slaughterhouse was dirty and not maintained despite having a halal certificate for the period 22 June 2012 to 21 June 2014, and the workers at the process place did not wear gloves. In addition, there are also chicken slaughterhouses that use fake halal logos to deceive their buyers. This incident happened in Siawan, Perak, 2017. This matter can be known because some residents in the area complained that the place smelled bad and was dirty. As a result of the raid and inspection, Jaid found that the slaughterhouse did not have a halal certificate recognized by the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia (JAKIM), and they had used a fake halal logo. Besides, there are also slaughterhouse operators who leave their chicken in a dirty and poor condition. It also slaughter and process chicken outright at several shops in the Selayang wholesale market. The action violates by law of the Selayang Municipal Council Market 2007, which prohibit open slaughtering activities other than from designated slaughterhouse. Apart from that, the process of slaughtering chicken and its hygiene is also questionable because the water used is not replaced with a new water until the water turns black. For information, slaughtering and processing activity cannot be done openly, such as in market or shop. They can only be done in slaughterhouse. Apart from the issue of halal status, there are some poultry slaughterhouses that leave the area of their premise dirty and it is not well maintained. An illegal chicken slaughter center in Selayang, located behind the housing estate, has existed for more than 20 years. The illegal poultry slaughterhouse did not provide water treatment installation, causing the water to stagnate and smell bad. Apart from that, the place is also said to have their employees slaughter chicken without following halal standard. Also, the slaughterhouse was not managed, and dumping chicken waste caused the place to have flies and rats. Before this, the place had been raided but still did the same thing.
Next, poultry processing methods in Malaysia. The following are the key steps that are frequently utilized in slaughterhouse. Step 1. Arrival at the processing plant. The well-being of hens is carefully monitored while they are being raised on the farm, and the same is true during their brief journey to the processing factory. Step 2. Stunning. Workers trained in human handling delicately suspend poultry by their feet on a moving line on they arrive at the processing factory. In a matter of seconds, the chicken become conduit to rub bar, which provide a comforting sensation on the chicken chest. They are kept quiet by combining this with low lighting. Step 3. Slaughter. This process is carried out manually by Muslim workers. Procedures and prayer are performed before beginning the process. Examination by inspectors is periodized to ensure that the slaughtering process is done in detail and correctly. Step 4. Scalding. Prior to the defeathering, scalding is used to moisturize and loosens the feather, depending on the type of scalder necessary. Step 5. The feathering. After scalding, the chickens immediately enter the feathering machine, in which rotating this with rubber fingers to remove the feathers. Step C. Eviscerations. The process begins with the poultry being placed in a hot water bath to loosen their feathers. A picker, which consists of hundreds of small rubber fingers that rotate around to extract the feather, is used to remove them. Step 7. Cleaning and chilling. The chicken are then washed before being inspected after the organs have been removed. Water and organic rice can be applied to each chicken as an extra measure to reduce bacteria. Before beginning this process, which include chilling the chicken to keep them fresh and clean. Step 8. Packaging. After the chicken has been cut into pieces, it is placed in trays and wrapped. The wrapped goods is then reviewed once more to ensure that it meets or exceeds the standards of both the consumer and the customer. And lastly, that is shipping. The chicken is finally on its way to the local market. Trailers are examined and cleaned before to loading the finished product onto truck to verify that they are in good working order.
Okay, now I will explain about the halal certification criteria for slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouses scheme means a certification scheme given to companies or operators of premises that carry out the slaughter and processing of halal animals commercially for human consumption. Every slaughterhouse operator has the option to apply for a halal certificate or not, because in Malaysia, it is still voluntary and not mandatory. Every year, applications for halal certificates for slaughterhouses are increasing due to the high demand for halal chicken in a state. It can be made through these three authority agencies like Malaysian Islamic Development Department, JAKIM, the State Islamic Religious Department, JAIN, or the State Islamic Religious Council, MAIN. Every slaughterhouse operator must know that the purpose of Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual MPPHM 2020 is to be used as a reference for operators who want to apply for halal certification to control the operation of their premises so that it is always clean and in accordance with Islamic law. There are several criteria that have been set by MPPHM 2020 and must be complied by every operator to obtain a halal certificate. So first, have a business registration certificate. Second, possess a local authority license or any government agency. Third, has a veterinary certificate scheme. Fourth, premise must be specially made for halal animal slaughter activities only. Fifth, slaughterer is a sane Muslim, puberty, practicing the teachings of Islam, has an understanding and knowledge of the basic rules and conditions related to slaughter according to Sharia. Sixth, slaughter daily records to make it easier to be used as a reference during the Malaysian Halal Certification inspection was carried out. Among the action that can be taken by the authorities against halal certificate holders who fail to comply with MPPHM 2020 are: they will be given notice of non-compliance with Malaysian halal certification, suspension and withdrawal of halal certificates, My e-halal account will be frozen, or the company's halal status will be announced to the public. So this action taken is based on the mistake they made.
Alright, I will continue with the hygiene and safety in the slaughterhouse. A well-planned, well-executed and controlled cleaning and sanitation program for rooms, machines and equipment is very important to achieve a hygienic standard. Cleaning and sanitation alone, however, will not assure a hygiene standard in production, where process hygiene as well as personal hygiene are important factors. Well-planned working routines may assure a better cleaning standard during processing. For example, cleaning during processing, removal of solid waste and sufficient space in processing rooms are factors which facilitate cleaning. There is three things we could focus on for the hygiene and safety in the slaughterhouse. First is the processing building, which have the site of the building, size, and the building itself. The slaughterhouse should be situated away from residential areas. Accesses for animals, either by road, rail, and or stock route, must be assured. The slaughterhouse should be located in areas where flooding is impossible. And for the size, there should be a reasonable relationship between the size of slaughter facilities and the number of animals to be killed. And the building should be constructed that clean and unclean processes and products do not mix. The floor must be hard, smooth, and impervious, sloping sufficiently towards a drain, thus allowing cleaning with water. Walls, if any, may be made of local construction materials. In certain dry areas, walls are not necessary. Materials which can be cleaned by water are recommended. Roof, if any, may be constructed of materials available. Tiles, corrugated iron, asbestos, or aluminium. Roofing is recommended to protect and allow the slaughter process to be independent of the weather, to provide shade and keep down the internal temperature, and lastly, to enable the collection of rain in the water tanks. Okay, next we move on to the equipment. The main principle of equipment for such as tables, hook, and machines should be that it is easy to dismantle or remove to facilitate cleaning, and that it should be made of non-corrosive materials. Lastly is environmental hygiene of the slaughterhouse. Environmental hygiene and its implementation will depend on the area where the slaughterhouse or meat plant is situated. The precautions to be taken will be different if the site is in a town or in the country. The main principle of environmental hygiene will consist of proper fencing, pest control, and liquid and solid waste disposal. For the proper fencing is to avoid from the public or an animal such as dog and other wild animals. And the pest control, pests such as insect, rodents, and birds should be controlled to prevent their access to slaughterhouse, production areas, and storage departments. This is the best achieved by the construction of building and working places, whereas of insect, rodents, and birds is hindered, but it will be almost impossible to secure buildings totally against pests. However, good design and construction may be delay the entry of pests, which is a worthwhile objective of an overall rodent control program. Even if the buildings are well constructed and as pest-proof as possible, it will be necessary to have a regular pest control. And for the liquid and solid waste disposal, handling of liquid and solid waste influences both hygiene in processing and of the environment, the latter depending on the precautions taken to avoid contamination with liquid and solid waste.
Now, we're gonna discuss about the solution or changes that need to be made to avoid these issues happen again. So first, every slaughterhouse need to have a proper and suitable layout. It is because there are some issues regarding to water pollution caused by the slaughterhouses. The workers of the slaughterhouse discarded the slaughter's leftovers everywhere, and even some of it dumped in the chains and causing water clogged channels and also polluted the water. So by having a suitable and proper layout, it can prevent it from happening again. Secondly, according to Malaysian protocol for the halal meat and poultry productions, stated by Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, or known as JAKIM, every slaughterhouse must ensure the slaughterman is a Muslim and practicing Muslim's life. It is a part of condition to be a slaughterman. In addition, it is because Muslim consumers are very aware for what they consume, and it should be followed by Sharia law. Next, the solution is every slaughterhouse must have a valid and legal halal logo and halal certification. It is because nowadays there are lots of issues regarding to halal logo and halal certification, such as obtaining the logo and certification illegally or faking them. This act will be resulting of the mistrust from the consumers, and also they can be fined or charged by the government. So every slaughterhouse can apply the halal logo and halal certification through JAKIM. Last but not least, the solution is every slaughterhouse must maintain the cleanliness of the slaughterhouse and the hygiene of the employees. There are hygiene and safety procedures stated in the ethical guidelines on slaughtering ruminants, which every slaughterhouse must follow. The hygiene and safety also related to the concept of halalan thayyiban, because the poultry will considered as halalan thayyiban if the surrounding is clean and safe. Indeed, keeping clean is the most important aspect that need to be observed, especially in food and beverage category, even if it seems like a small matter.